Have you ever had a friend who just got you? Someone you connected with instantly, on a level that went deeper than words? This is a story about a friendship like that. It's a story about loyalty, sacrifice, and a bond that defied a king. This is the story of David and Jonathan. Our story begins in the ancient kingdom of Israel, a nation on edge. Its king, Saul, was a man haunted by his own fears and insecurities, but a new hero had just stepped onto the scene, David, a young shepherd who had done the impossible. He had defeated the giant Goliath with nothing but a sling and a stone when David was brought. Before the king, someone else was standing there, Saul's son, Prince Jonathan. And in that moment, something incredible happened. The Bible says that Jonathan's soul was knit to David's. It wasn't just admiration, it was an instant, profound connection. He saw in David a spirit that mirrored his own brave, faithful, and true. Jonathan, a prince, did something unheard of. He took off his own royal robe, his tunic, even his sword and his bow, and gave them all to David. This was more than a gift. It was a symbol. Jonathan was saying, I see you as my equal, my brother. Your path is my path. They made a promise that day, a covenant of friendship that they would honor for the rest of their lives. But not everyone was happy. As David's fame grew, King Saul's heart filled with a dark and dangerous jealousy. The songs of the people haunted him. Saul has slain his thousands, and David his tens of thousands. The king began to see the young hero not as a champion, but as a threat to his throne. His paranoia grew into a consuming rage, and he began to plot against David. Jonathan was caught in the middle, torn between his father and his best friend. He refused to believe the worst of his father and promised David he would find out the truth. They came up with a plan. David would hide in a field, and Jonathan would speak to the king. To send a message, Jonathan would go out to the field to practice archery. If he told his servant the arrows were on the side of him, it meant David was safe. But if he said the arrows were beyond him, it meant David had to run for his life. At the royal feast, Jonathan spoke up for David. He reminded his father of all the good David had done for the kingdom. But Saul exploded in fury, his jealousy now a raging fire. He hurled insults at his own son, his rage so intense that he even threw a spear at Jonathan, just as he had at David. Jonathan's heart was broken. He now knew the terrible truth. The next day, he went out to the field, his heart heavy. He shot an arrow and cried out to his servant, "The arrow is beyond you." It was the signal. David, hidden nearby, understood. His life was in danger. After the servant left, David emerged from his hiding place. The two friends, overwhelmed with grief, held each other one last time. They knew this might be their final goodbye. Go in peace, Jonathan said, his voice thick with emotion, for we have sworn friendship with each other in the name of the Lord. David fled into the wilderness, and he and Jonathan would never see each other again, Jonathan. Loyal to the end, would later die in battle alongside his father. But their bond was never broken. Years later, when David became king, he remembered his promise. He sought out Jonathan's only surviving son, a disabled man named Mephibosheth, and restored to him all the land of his grandfather Saul, giving him a permanent place of honor at the royal table. He did it all for the sake of his friend. Jonathan. The story reminds us that true friendship is one of life's greatest gifts. It's a bond built on loyalty, selflessness, and a love that endures, even in the face of impossible circumstances. It's a friendship that echoes through eternity.